NC Math 1 release items, number 14, calculator inactive. What is the value of x in the system of equations shown below? Those equations are 5x plus 4y equals 1 and y equals 1 minus x. Pause the video, try it on your own. We're going to go over it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So first, a system of equations is two or more equations with the same variables, and we're trying to solve for the values of x and y in the system of equations. In other words, what values of x and y work for both equations? And they want to know the value of x. So we can get both values and then just circle the x value. There are several ways to solve systems of equations. There's substitution, elimination, there's graphing, matrices. You won't get to those in this course, but we're not going to do graphing because I'm not going to throw it into a calculator when I don't have one available, and I don't like graphing stuff by hand. So we're going to either use substitution or elimination. And how do I know which one to use? Easiest way to determine whether I should use substitution or elimination is if I have a variable solved for. And in this case, I have a variable solved for. I have y. Notice that that y is equal to something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute in place of y what it's solved for. Easiest way to do it to know if you're going to use substitution. So I'm going to rewrite this. First, I'm going to call this substitution. Now there's elimination, and we can probably get to that in a different question here, but for right now, we're going to use substitution. So we're going to rewrite this as 5x plus 4y. Oops, I'm not going to use y. I'm going to put parentheses in the place of what y is and set that equal to 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stuff in here, right? This 1 plus minus x. I'm going to substitute that in. That's why it's called substitution in for y. And now you got an equation that just has one variable and you can solve for it. And it says what's the value of x. So guys, like we're going to get the answer once we have this, right? So you have to solve this equation for x without a calculator, sans calculator, which means that we're going to have to write this carefully. So it's going to be 5x plus 4. Oh, I got a 4 outside parentheses. I should probably distribute that. So 4 multiplied by 1, that's times, and then 4 multiplied by minus x, again, multiplied. So it's going to be 4x, 4 times 1, 4 times 1, minus 4 times x equals 1. That's distributing. So 5x plus 4 minus 4 times x is 4x equals 1. Now we're going to combine our like terms. Anytime you have multiple variables on one side, you have to combine them. So 5x's and minus 4x's, that's going to combine to give you 1x. 5 minus 4 is 1. So 1x, then I have this lone plus 4 is equal to 1. 1x is x, so x plus 4 equals 1. And then now I can subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. So 1 minus 4, well, 4 minus 1 is 3, so 1 minus 4 is negative 3. So your answer is going to be negative 3. X is equal to 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. Now, I'm going to go ahead and answer this more to this. If you got the answer, you're ready to move on, that's fine. But if you want to know, like, how would I get y in this case? Well, you'd have to plug x back in. So if I want to know what is the value of y, well, I'm going to plug it in now. Does it matter which one you plug it in? No, not really, but always plug it into the easier one. So since this is already solved for y, I would just say, well, since y is 1 minus x, and I know x is negative 3, y would be 1 minus negative 3. And minusing a negative is the same as adding. So 1 minus negative is 1 plus 3, which is equal to 4. Does it work in the other one as well? Well, let's find out. Now that I know my answer is 4 for y, and my answer is negative 3 for x, let's look at this other equation. Let's just make sure we're right, okay? So if I say 5x plus 4y is equal to 1, then I could say 5 times, what is my x value here? What did I get? Negative 3. So 5 times negative 3 plus 4. What is my y value? 4. And if I did my math correctly, that should equal 1. So let's do a little bit of math. 5 times negative 3 is 15, negative 15. And 4 times 4 is 16. Does that give me 1? Negative 15 plus 16. Well, that's 16 minus 15. So that is indeed 1. So I know that that checks. I've done my math correctly. Now, that is way more than this question asked for. But sometimes the question wants to know the y value or the other variable. So you'd have to plug it back in to get that. So the answer is negative 3, but the full coordinate would be negative 3 comma 4. And if you were to graph this, the coordinate negative 3, 4 is where those graphs would intersect. Thank you for watching my TED Talk.